Top in the news, it was back to the classrooms for public schools today after a 6-week delay. But one school in the West could be facing another delay. The Port Lakaya Marketplace back in business. And a big award for a woman considered an angel of mercy. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shoshana Wolf-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, it was back to the classrooms for public schools today after a 6-week delay. But one school in the West could be facing another delay. Here is our Megan Shepard, who firstly spoke with students from East Grand Bahama who headed back to schools today as well, but they are being accommodated in the Freeport area.
Public school students on Grand Bahama receiving a much-needed sense of normalcy to their routines thanks to the reopening of schools. Students and staff excited to finally return to the classrooms after an extended break caused by Hurricane Dorian. Principal of Freeport Primary School, Gia Walker, says that students were even showing up early on Thursday morning.
For the first 2 days, this Thursday and Friday, we're going to go till 1 o'clock because we just want to make sure that everyone is settled, comfortable. We need to know where everyone is, if there are any other things that we need to get done. But for the most part, these 2 days are the getting to know you days, and then we'll go full speed ahead as of Monday.
Principal of St. George's High School, Keith Barr, says that the first 2 days will be used to sort out housekeeping matters.
It doesn't look very much like it's the enrollment that we expected before the hurricanes, and we sort of anticipated that we'd be down in the numbers. But this is just the first day, so maybe in the next few days we'll get an idea of exactly how many students we have coming back. But we didn't get to do this before the hurricane in terms of putting students in groups, so we're going through the process this morning, and we're running on a sort of condensed schedule where the kids get out at 1 o'clock. So in the afternoon, that gives us some time to plan as well.
Now, many families have been displaced from East Grand Bahama and the island of Abaco. Both principals say they have been opening their doors to these students, and they are pleased to welcome them to their new campuses.
I can say we have about 30 so far, but the numbers are growing, and we're more than happy to accept those children from the East.
Most of the students who came from the East would have gone to Jack Haywood, but we have a good number of students who are coming here from Abaco. Okay, so we've been registering them for the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Barr is also encouraging parents to reach out to the school if they have any concerns.
I know that there's a lot of problems with transportation and flooding and all that stuff. But I need parents to just make a special effort to do whatever it is to communicate with us, see if we can assist with getting the students here on time. Students who would not have normally been bused, but because there are a lot of damages in terms of flooding with transportation, we may be able to assist in terms of getting a bus to run in the particular area.
And for those students who may be having any issues following the devastation, Walker says that their on-staff guidance counselors are ready to help.
Our guidance counselors have been in several trainings over the past few weeks. Because of the situation, we want to make sure that our students are emotionally as well as physically prepared to start the new school year. We've had this setback. It has been traumatic for many adults, so we want to make sure that we know how to deal with our students when it comes to certain issues moving forward.
Walker is thanking partners that will assist in providing food and water for the students.
We have breakfast available. We're so appreciative to the Methodist Church who've partnered with us. They're going to be providing lunch for everybody on this campus, and staff and students. And yes, then we have water, drinking water for everyone. And we also have a team that's coming in to put in some drinking water for our students too. So water won't be an issue. We're going to make sure that they have lots of water for drinking.
Now, Barr is inviting all parents of St. George's High School students to a PTA meeting to be held on Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Leads to one school in the Western District as students and teachers refuse to enter the classrooms at the Holmes Rock Primary School. They were joined by parents who claim that mold remains a major health issue at that institution. Here's Jamila Mizik with the story.
What was supposed to be a productive first day back to school turned into a sit-out as teachers and students at the Holmes Rock Primary School were unable to return to the classrooms due to what they say is a mold issue. When our ZNS News team arrived at the Holmes Rock Primary School, we met parents, teachers, and students sitting outside. Crystal Bethel, who is the Bahamas Union of Teachers shop steward, a fourth grade teacher and a parent, says the staff does not find the environment safe and were sitting out in the fresh air for their sake as well as the students. She says as a parent, her children were at home.
The classrooms are not conducive for learning. It is constitutional that if we feel there's an issue in the school, in the classrooms that pose a risk to our health, we are not to enter the rooms. School, if we would recall, school has already opened for the teachers from August, and we were back. We had teachers, we had staff out sick. This was like prior to the storm. And so we're back now, and we know what happens with mold. We know that it's living, and so it's even worse now.
Now, ZNS News understands that many of the parents took their children home, and most of those who were left are students who catch the bus. We spoke to parents Bernadette Forbes and Bendrika Deal, who say they find it disappointing that weeks later this is still an issue.
If the teachers can't teach, the children whose systems are stronger, the children can't bear it. And it's a waste of time, because if the teacher trying to teach and the children are not breathing properly and inhaling that, it's not good. So I'm very disappointed for all this time. I thought everything was in order by now, because I was saying just the water, well, the children can come to school and the parents can give the children water, and at least they have water for flushing. But this is not acceptable at all.
To my awareness, my son was in grade 4 last year, and his class already had mold. I thought that was something that had already been dealt with. So I don't understand why they put in Holmes Rock Primary and 8 Mile Rock schools on the back burner. Our kids need their education also. Some of the member boards ain't even here because they out sick because they done had asthma attack and think because the classes is moldy. It doesn't make sense. The teachers sitting out here with the students all day in the hot sun. I done been here from this morning. Nothing could happen here.
Now, they say they haven't heard from any officials yet as to when mold remediation will take place, but once there's a suitable environment, they will be happy to teach. For now, they'll remain outdoors.
We cannot show up. If we don't show up, then we're absent. And so, as long as we're required to be here.
They want to be here. It's no doubt about it. They want to be here. But it's just that the position they're in is not good at all. We are putting them in a bad position as parents and as the ministry. We have to be more concerned about these teachers and these children.
They're calling on the powers that be to remediate the issue as soon as possible. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Police recovering more bodies in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. The remains of 4 additional bodies were recovered in Abaco and 1 body here in Grand Bahama in Rocky Creek East End this week. So far, the death toll in Grand Bahama stands at 10 and the toll overall is 65. Switching gears now, residents in South Bahamia putting the developers of that community under fire. They say they have had to endure the stench of sewage for far too long, and they're demanding that the powers provide a permanent resolution. It is a smelly, unsanitary situation, and residents of Emerald Bay in Bahamia say they are fed up. Feces can be seen through the streets, toilet paper and other objects floating, all coming up from the sewer system. Apostle Anthony Grant lives in the Hampton condominiums, and Lennon Gibson is the president of the association. They say this has been an ongoing issue for some time now.
Some year and a half, almost 2 years now, we've had a serious situation where there's a continuous flow of sewer water in the main street, preventing us from going into the building, preventing us from sleeping at night, causing a lot of not only sinus issues, but a lot of health issues with respect to the sewer descent, not being able to have a good meal, not being able to open up your windows at night.
It's something that was happening every so often, every other month, every month maybe, and it'll go away after 2 days. This has been a consistent problem now for 2 weeks, going on 3 weeks.
Bahamia is a private subdivision in the Freeport area owned by Harcourt Development, which means this is where residents in Bahamia pay their service charge. The company's website shares the developer's plans for the area and in one part reminds residents of the importance of ensuring that their service charges remain current in order for Bahamia Services to maintain the development and provide desired improvements. The page even going so far as to say, as it is quite evident, Harcourt and BSC are certainly doing their part as they promised. Owner of Emerald Bay, Wolfgang Gagger, says they are spending a lot of money with Harcourt Development, and yet they cannot have the sewer issue resolved. He says his tenants are growing more frustrated.
It stinks in the night, especially if the wind comes down. It's just unpleasant, and also because we own the place and we rent the place out to tenants, we are scared to lose tenants because if they coming home or leaving in the morning driving through sewage, this is not really something what people wants to see in front of their house.
They say they have done their part to reach out to several agencies, but to no avail.
We need their help now. Tomorrow is too late, because we have reported this thing. Many of the owners in this area have reported this thing. I sent them an email as well, and no response from them by email.
We had meetings there to complain about the situation, but it looks like Bahamia Service Company is not very cooperative to do anything here.
We've made contact with the Port Authority and the inspectors. Still no results to date.
Gagger shares his next plan of action.
Just try to put as much as pressure as possible. If this problem doesn't get resolved soon, then we will disconnect the billing from the sewage treatment system and we put in our own septic tank with a well to get rid of this situation, you know. Because we pay quite a lot of money to them on a monthly basis. Based on the water consumption, they charge us also for the sewage.
And he adds that he is also considering legal action. Now, our news team reached out to Donald Archer, the president and CEO of Harcourt Development Company, who says that the sewer issue has been ongoing for a few months. He says the sewer treatment plant was in need of a replacement part, adding that this was recently received and installed. He contends that as of last night, the sewer problem has been resolved. Well, the Port Lucaya Marketplace is set to reopen this weekend. The tourism shopping center has been closed since the passing of the storm. For tenants of the marketplace, the reopening is a positive sign for the economy. Jamila Mizik reports.
After what some business owners say felt like 7 long weeks, the Port Lucaya Marketplace will reopen to the public. As our ZNS News team toured the Lucaya property, employees could be seen hard at work preparing for the reopening. We spoke to tenants who say now that the storm is over, cleanup efforts have commenced and they are more than ready to serve their customers.
We're certainly happy and relieved that it's open. We had no problems. I think many places had very little damage. Obviously we had lost product, but minimal.
We're excited to see our customers return. You know, we were counting the days for them to open, and when they did give us the heads up, we were here to clean up and ready to go. So come on down to Port Lucaya tomorrow night.
We're looking forward to come to work. You see, right now we're prepping for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We had 200-300 breakfast order already. And, you know, we already prepared for that. And, you know, I'm the dinner chef, and I'm getting my stuff together right now. 7 weeks gone, you know, it's been hard, but we back. We have life and we back.
Basically, we've had all the staff in for the last couple of days. We're getting everything ready. It's a part of a big production to get going. So, yeah, we've been doing morning and night shifts, just cleaning, doing a couple minor repairs and trying to get back going and start serving again. It's been a long haul, and our staff luckily we haven't lost too many staff. Most have stayed, and we're just there. Everybody's. I mean, when you walk through the restaurant right now, everybody's upbeat and excited and ready to get back to it.
Now, the Port Lucaire Marketplace will be open for business all day on Friday, October 18th, with entertainment from the Soul Sisters Band that evening and Wilfred Solomon on Saturday. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
The importance of adequate insurance can never be overstated, particularly in the time of hurricane. And this week, residents were able to attend a seminar on insurance claims and the advantages involved when getting the assistance of an expert in filing claims. Darren Duncanson conducted the session at the Castaways Resort.
Oftentimes, they're not aware of how they could position a claim to get the best, most successful result. So the loss adjusters is just natural, are typically, which a lot of people need to understand, acting for the insurance company, even though sometimes they may be titled independent loss adjusters. They are acting for the insurance companies, and they're doing their job to settle a claim for the least amount and as quickly as possible if they can get the least amount. A lot of times our people don't know, our people in the islands, be it the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, aren't aware of how, for instance, a claim could be structured to get the best result. Oftentimes, our people will want to just give a ballpark figure. Loss adjusters oftentimes, when they're looking at a situation, a claim, are certainly doing an itemized schedule of line items.
When it comes to lapsed insurances and other challenges, that should be pursued by an expert.
People need to know that all is not lost. Up until the time you actually sign a release with the insurance company, you can always amend. Just explain, I didn't know my full rights. I didn't know what, I didn't know about these things. But we find there's a lot of line items that people, even with a contractor, because a contractor looks at a claim just one way in terms of repair job, and an insurance person is looking at it a different way. The true value of insurance claim is not, I like to say it this way in the vernacular, it's not what cousin John Freddy might knock up a repair job for you. A true value is quite something different and could be quite higher. And it could be higher than what you think as a percentage on top of what so it's down to the person deciding what they will do once they have their claim settled. But the value of insurance claim could be quite oftentimes higher.
Stay with us, there's more news after the break.